says it right here. This is the last episode of season 1. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2, considering how closely it follows the game logic so far. Or not the game logic, the game timeline so far. Figured I'll just do the same thing with Last of Us Season 2. I don't know that game very well. Like, I know basically a lot of the stuff that does happen, but that's only really because I watched the Gaming Sins video of The Last of Us 2, where it talks about everything of what it did wrong or anything like that. I don't really know the series in general. I imagine, though, based off all the hate The Last of Us 2 got for its story, I don't think anyone wants to see a season 2. But maybe I'm wrong. And who knows? There were a lot of changes that were done in season 1 for this, so maybe they'll do the same thing for season 2. If anything, maybe we'll see a young Abby. Anyway, season 2 isn't here yet. Let's finish off season 1. So the episode goes out of its way to tell how Ellie became immune to the infection. I like that it's a Bible way. I don't know if it's ever explained in the second game, The Last of Us 2. So as far as I know, this is the only time it's ever being discussed, period. So I like it. It's a nice change. I would say I wanted to play the second game to figure out if that is true, if this is the only time that the immunization is being discovered in Ellie. But I also don't want to go through the emotional torment that game puts you through, so I guess I'll just stay obliviously ignorant, oblivious, whatever. However you say what I'm trying to say. I wasn't expecting to see Jaffe, the game mascot, hit a little bit differently than in the video game. In the video game, you play through and experience all like the traumas and suffers of like the last game, where you're basically killing a psycho, weirdo, religious pervert. The moment of the giraffe was supposed to be a moment of levity. Here, it's supposed to still the same thing, but as opposed to experiencing all that horror from the last chapter, I just witnessed it. It doesn't really hit the same way. But either way, I'm glad to see the giraffe. So, in a way, though, with hindsight, it is still basically the calm before the storm when it comes to the game. You know, after seeing everything that's about to happen, that giraffe definitely is the eye of the storm. It's something I gotta vent about here real quick. We just got to the point where Joel kills the surgeon. And you know, I was hoping the series would give it its own kind of spin on this one scenario here. But it doesn't. Since the beginning of time, even before the second game came out, every gamer ever has tried to not kill that doctor, that surgeon, whatever the hell you want to call him. I mean, no matter what, with the way the game's designed, you have to shoot that surgeon in order to progress in the game. You can't like melee him or knock him out or anything like that. You have to shoot him. And no matter where you shoot him, even if it's in the foot, he dies almost instantly, like you shot him in the head. It was kind of a complaint with everyone who has played that game. You know, I was wishing they would do something with that, you know, just that there at least be some kind of argument or something, or at least something that also kind of fully justifies Joel killing that surgeon. But nothing, he just kind of shoots him in the head. I'm a bit disappointed about that. Same way I'd be disappointed with the clickers and stuff like that. I wish it was there. As a fan of the game, I wish it was there. It doesn't really affect the episode or anything in general. As I was playing this exact spot in the game, I could always understand why Joel was killing everyone except this one surgeon. But that's just me griping. So let's see how this episode finishes. Also, there's a bit of a timing issue at the very end of the episode. You know, they got Joel sitting in the car, but you don't really see Ellie. That's pretty much from the game too, but the game does it a little bit better because it really sits on what looks like Joel alone in a car, making you really question whether or not he left Ellie with the fireflies or whatnot. It was a really great moment of suspense. It sit and let you wonder. It doesn't really happen here. I mean, you sit for like 5 seconds and then you hear Ellie waking up. You know, I wish the episode did that. You know what I mean? Okay, episode's done. Pretty much followed the video game almost to a T, which bugs me, kind of. You know, I have logical gripes about how everything went down. Actually, the better thing to say would be I've had logical gripes the way things went down. I can't really blame the series for it, but I mean, there was always a complaint about how the way things ended from the video game. Everyone made like bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, and no one like took the time to just like chill the hell out and talk about it. I mean, for one thing, Marlene and the Fireflies definitely rushed it. I mean, they still could have let Ellie choose, and if Ellie chose, maybe they wouldn't have to deal with Joel's crazy ass. Or they could have at least tried to talk down Joel instead of like putting him under armed guard and hitting him and getting a rise out of him. I mean, shit, I remember playing the video game and the way they were talking down to me and like basically forcing me to like accept it and walk away. Shit, I'd be pissed off too. And I've already said how I feel about Joel wasting the doctor or anything like that. I mean, they build Joel up to be like this non-stop killing machine once he starts going against the Fireflies, but when it came to the doctor, he even spared some doctors. He even tried to talk down a doctor, albeit briefly as hell. You know what I mean? I still wish there was like a competition between the surgeon and Joel. But either way, what's done is done. I think one of my biggest gripes about the video game in general was that it just kind of ended on not so much a sour note, but like a somber note, and I didn't really like that one too much. But that's the series, that's the source material. You know what I mean? Let me do something real quick, actually. I'm gonna look up, see if there was a season 2 planned or if this is it. Yeah, it seems like there is one confirmed, but I don't know if it started filming yet. So I probably won't be here for like another 2 or 3 years. I also want to like look up like something from the fans' perspective, see if I could see whether or not fans want to see Last of Us Season 2. Okay, after a small bit of research, most of the fan base still seems divided, but I think they remain hopeful for how Season 2 is going to go. I think. I'm not really sure. I know that for me, in terms of what I know about the story for The Last of Us 2, it basically reminded me of Game of Thrones, where everything is just people killing each other and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And to me, that's not really trying hard. That's just like trying to shock me to get an easy emotional value, and I don't like that. Like I want to see you work for a character death. You know what I mean? That, and there was a lot of other storylines that maybe just kind of hate characters because they were doing a bunch of dumb decisions. That's what it seemed like to me. So we'll see if that idea continues in The Last of Us Season 2. Either way, in terms of Season 1 as a whole, I liked it. I didn't really mind any of the changes they made. There were some things that I wished were in the video game, but I guess I can't hold it against the show for anything like that. Overall, I had a good time. I would watch all of Season 1 again. But anyway, that's how I feel. Season 1 is done. I know there's plans for a Season 2, but I don't even think they began filming yet, so we'll see what happens. Till then, it was fun. I'll see you whenever I see you. Later.